Today is November 18th. I was working as a dishwasher and I had an interesting conversation with a young man. And I told the young man that, wow, I just got goosebumps thinking about it, how powerful that conclusion is. And S&P Capital, one of the traders is apparently he's labeled as shark, and and um, apparently the uh, the recommendation is initially to trade small, and then uh, once consistency is achieved, then start scaling up. It makes sense. And I made a point to my coworker that uh, initially just starting with $1,000 is good, and then trade, because that $1,000 is going to disappear. And once trading occurs and keeps trading, then because it's essentially essentially trading is upfront is learning. Unless consistency is achieved, it's learning. That means that it is cheaper to use small amount of money while gaining consistency, because essentially what's going to happen is that I have 1,000, go up a little bit, drop, and then go up a little bit, like re uh, reinvesting or adding to the account, and then trading, which essentially means 1,000 down, 1,000 down, 1,000 down. And so people who start out with like mortgaging their house because they got bitten by the bug of trading, who put like $100,000 in an account, essentially what they're going to do is they're going to go, oh, 100,000, zero. And now they're going to find something else to bring it up, and then zero. So the best thing to do initially is to trade small until consistency is achieved. And once the consistency, here's where the goosebumps starts. Once the consistency is achieved, then naturally, that $1,000 keeps growing, growing, and growing. And then once that $1,000 reaches like $10,000, $20,000, and $30,000, then between at a point between $30,000 and $50,000, that's when a conclusion can be made that a viable, consistently profitable day trading has been established upon myself. Because starting small, falling down, which is based on resiliency, and then getting back up, falling down multiple times. Those multiple times is only $1,000, thousand, instead of being 100,000, zero, 100,000, zero, 100,000, zero. Because eventually the time it takes, the same amount of time, no matter how much money you start out with, it takes the same amount of money, same amount of time to become good anyway. So why not trade small and learn small, so that to make the educational process of day trading to become a consistently profitable day trader is cheaper. Why put in $100,000 to win? Because it is essentially the greed and the part of being ignorant about the market that's causing individuals to put in that much money, and they learn eventually if they stick it out. Or it's the cost has been so traumatic that they just don't do it anymore. So the goosebump moment of the training process and the learning process, I pointed out to my coworker, is put in 1,000, start to learn. it keeps learning, keeps learning, keeps learning, keeps learning, keeps learning. By this time, it's $30,000. I have come from $1,000 to $30,000. That time period that has been consumed has multiple weeks and months and years involved into getting to that point. And retaining at now at a point where 30,000 is essentially very similar to $50,000 and $100,000. And therefore it is essentially just scaling up at that point, because the the hardest part initially is creating a setup and a system within myself in order to continue on a trajectory of continuous and consistently profitable day trading uh, system in mind and body and memory. And so trading is about starting small and then escalating until it gets to a certain point. Okay.